I'm Michael, 32M, a mechanic by trade here in Dallas. For almost 6 years, I was married to Christina, 31F. When we first met, it felt like magic. We had that easy, comfortable chemistry, shared laughs, and common interests. We loved weekend road trips to small towns, trying new restaurants, and just spending quiet evenings cooking together, telling stories about our day. Our foundation seemed solid, built on mutual respect and genuine affection. For the first few years, things were genuinely good. We supported each other through career changes, minor family dramas, and the general ups and downs of early adulthood. We weren't perfect, but we were a team. I thought we were building something strong, something lasting. Then, about 2 years into our marriage, Christina reconnected with her old college friend, Jessica. Jessica was different. She had a very strong, very vocal opinion that marriage was a prison, that monogamy was an outdated concept designed to control women, and that true freedom meant exploring all your options. She was recently divorced from a short, messy marriage, and she seemed to project a lot of her own unhappiness and cynicism onto anyone who would listen. Slowly, subtly, Jessica's views started to chip away at Christina. At first, it was just casual comments, "Oh, Jessica thinks." Then it became more direct. Christina started questioning things, our routine, our intimacy. Our once vibrant sex life dwindled. The comfortable silences became awkward. The petty arguments increased, turning into passive-aggressive jabs. I tried to talk to her, asked what was wrong, if she was unhappy. She'd always say, "No, everything's fine. Just tired, or work stress." I believed her, because I wanted to. I was a bit naive, I guess, or maybe just unwilling to face what was really happening. Then, about 1.5 years before everything exploded, came the conversation. We were sitting on the couch after dinner, watching some reality TV show. Casual, mundane. Christina turned to me, a strange glint in her eye. "Michael," she began, "I've been doing a lot of thinking." My stomach clenched. That phrase rarely precedes anything good. "We're still young, right?" she continued. "In our early 30s. We haven't really explored. And I feel like our life has just become boring." Boring? My heart sank. I thought we had a comfortable, stable life. I loved our routine. "I think," she went on, her voice gaining a strange, almost detached confidence, "we should consider an open marriage." I literally felt my jaw drop. An open marriage? Me, a Dallas mechanic who still thought dating meant dinner and a movie? My mind just short-circuited. I stared at her, speechless. "What are you talking about, Christina?" I finally managed, my voice hoarse. "Just what it sounds like," she said, shrugging, as if she were suggesting we try a new brand of cereal. "We're both good-looking, we're still in our prime. We could date other people. Explore new connections. Physically. Maybe emotionally too. It could be really beneficial for us. Help us grow as individuals. Bring some excitement back into our lives." I felt blindsided, sucker-punched. My mind raced. Was this a test? Was she saying she was unhappy? Was this a hint that she was already doing something? "Are you unhappy with me?" I asked, looking her straight in the eye, trying to keep my voice even. "No, no," she quickly replied, perhaps a little too quickly. "It's not about you. It's about us and our potential. About not being tied down when we're so young. I think it could make our marriage stronger, actually." A part of me, the part that was desperate to save our relationship, grasped onto that. Stronger? Maybe. Maybe this was a way to break through the stagnation, to reignite something. Another part, the one that was screaming red flags. Red flags, was being drowned out by the desperate hope. "So," I said, my voice still a bit shaky. "We just go on dates? With other people?" "Exactly," she beamed, suddenly looking genuinely excited. "It's all about honesty and communication, of course. No secrets. We tell each other everything. And it's just about exploration, not about replacing what we have." Despite every fiber of my being screaming "No," I found myself nodding. Maybe it was the shock. Maybe it was the deep-seated desire to please her, to fix what she perceived as boring. Maybe it was the fear that if I said no, she'd leave anyway. "Okay," I said, hearing the word come out of my mouth as if from someone else. Okay, Christina. Let's try it. She immediately hugged me, a strangely triumphant hug, I now realize. The very next day, Christina was already on dating apps. She was glowing, excited, constantly on her phone. She told me about a few guys she was chatting with, how fun it was. I, meanwhile, felt a profound sense of anxiety mixed with a strange kind of freedom. I didn't immediately jump into dating. Instead, I used this newfound freedom to focus on myself, something I hadn't done in years. My job as a mechanic is demanding, and I'd let my fitness slide. I started hitting the gym consistently. I also have a passion project, restoring my beloved '67 Chevy Impala. She'd been sitting in the garage, half-finished, for years. I poured my evenings and weekends into her. The grime, the rust, the complex mechanics, it was cathartic. It was something tangible I could fix, unlike my marriage. I also reconnected with old friends I'd drifted away from. Guys from high school, car enthusiasts, people who actually seemed happy to see me and listen. This new focus, this rediscovered sense of purpose, did wonders for my confidence. I lost weight, gained muscle, and felt a clarity of mind I hadn't experienced in years. I realized how much of my identity had become wrapped up in being Christina's husband, and how little I had done for myself. During this time, I started paying closer attention to Christina. She was out a lot, exploring. She'd tell me vague details, but increasingly, I felt something was off. Her excitement felt less about exploring and more about pursuit. It dawned on me that her grand proposal wasn't about our marriage. It was a thinly veiled excuse to pursue someone else. My suspicions solidified when I noticed her constantly texting someone named Ben. He was a coworker, a guy she'd mentioned casually but never seemed to spend much time with. Now, his name came up constantly. She was always on her phone, giggling, smiling at texts. "Oh, just Ben, he's so funny," she'd say, too quickly. The alarm bells went off. This wasn't about exploring options. This was about him. I started quietly documenting our finances, pulling together joint account statements, and getting things in order. I even discreetly consulted a lawyer, just to understand my options. I realized that whether I wanted to or not, this open marriage was simply a prolonged, painful exit strategy for her, and I needed to be ready. After a few months of intense self-improvement and subtle information gathering, I decided it was time to step into the dating world. My initial dates were disastrous. Awkward, forced conversations, clear lack of chemistry. It reinforced how much I didn't want to be dating, how much I still just wanted my marriage to work. But I also knew I needed to prepare myself for the inevitable. Each failed date was a small step towards accepting the end. And then, she popped up. Violet. Violet, 30F. Christina's former roommate from college, someone I'd met a few times at parties. She was smart, funny, and incredibly attractive. We matched on a dating app, which was a complete surprise, as I thought she was closer with Christina and wouldn't be interested. Our first date was just a casual coffee. We talked for hours. And hours. The conversation flowed effortlessly, just like it used to with Christina in the early days. Violet listened intently when I spoke, laughed at my jokes, and shared her own stories with genuine enthusiasm. She was a breath of fresh air. She had a kind of calm wisdom and a spark that Christina had lost, or maybe never really had, for me. As we continued to go on dates, the chemistry between us was undeniable. I found myself genuinely enjoying her company in ways I hadn't experienced with Christina in years. Our dates weren't about proving anything to Christina, they were about discovering a real, honest connection with someone else. Violet knew about the open marriage, and she was careful, respectful, and incredibly understanding. She never pushed, just let things unfold naturally. Christina, meanwhile, was starting to notice. She had been so focused on her own exploration with Ben, who, I was now certain, was much more than just a co-worker, that she hadn't paid much attention to my dating life. But when I started going out consistently, dressing better, smiling more, and seeming genuinely happy, she started to get suspicious. And then, when she somehow found out I was dating Violet, her friend, her former roommate, her entire demeanor shifted. Her exploration suddenly stopped being fun. Her casual indifference evaporated, replaced by a simmering jealousy. She started asking pointed questions. "So, you're still seeing Violet? You guys seem to be spending a lot of time together. Is it getting serious?" Her tone was accusatory, almost hostile. The hypocrisy was astounding. She had pushed for this, gone on countless dates, and was clearly emotionally entangled with Ben, but the moment I found someone with whom I had a real connection, it was a problem. Christina's attempts to regain control over the situation became increasingly desperate. She'd try to initiate intimacy with me, sudden, clumsy advances after months of a near-sexless marriage. I found myself recoiling. I couldn't bring myself to be intimate with her, knowing she saw me as a backup, knowing she was still pining for Ben. It felt dirty, dishonest. "Christina," I said one night, after she tried to kiss me, "what are you doing?" "What do you mean?" she said, feigning innocence. "I'm your wife. I want to be intimate with my husband." "No," I said, shaking my head. "You don't. You wanted an open marriage to explore your options and not be tied down. You're spending all your time with Ben. You told your friend I was pathetic and desperate. This isn't about intimacy with your husband. This is about control. This is about you not liking that I'm actually moving on, or worse, finding happiness." Her face flushed crimson. The mask dropped. "How did you know about Ben?" she hissed, her eyes narrowing. "You've been spying on me, haven't you?" "I don't need to spy, Christina," I said, my voice cold. "Your phone is always out. Your jokes about me being a backup were loud enough for me to hear. And your suddenly frantic attempts to get me into bed only started when you realized I was actually making a connection with someone else. This isn't an open marriage for you, is it? It's a waiting room for Michael, or Ben, or whoever you're actually in love with. I'm just furniture." The truth hung in the air. She crumbled. She didn't deny it. She just started crying. "You're ruining everything. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly," I said, and walked away. That night, I solidified my decision. I went back to my lawyer. It was time. I deserved more than to be someone's backup plan. A few days later, I served Christina with divorce papers. The process was tumultuous, as expected. Christina went through cycles of furious anger. "You're abandoning me," desperate pleas, "Please, Michael, we can fix this." It was a mistake, and outright manipulation. "You're ruining my life." She tried to tell our mutual friends and even my own family that I was cold and unfeeling, that I had betrayed our marriage by going through with the divorce after she suggested the open arrangement. She claimed I was using Violet to get back at her. But I stood firm. I had the emotional strength now, the clarity. I knew she had crossed boundaries long before the open marriage was ever proposed. It wasn't about me abandoning her, it was about her emotional infidelity and disrespect. The open marriage was just a stage for her to play out her desire for someone else, and my participation was simply me realizing I deserved better. It was painful, messy, and financially draining, but eventually, the divorce was finalized. In the months since the divorce, Christina's behavior has become even more erratic. She tried to reach out to me, then to Violet, with long, rambling messages expressing regret and a desperate desire to reconcile. She'd show up at my workplace, crying. She'd send angry emails, then apologetic ones. It was a constant barrage. It escalated to the point where, with advice from my lawyer and Violet, I had to get a restraining order against her due to persistent harassment. It broke my heart to do it, but I needed peace and safety for myself and for Violet. Meanwhile, life with Violet has been a revelation. She is kind, honest, and truly appreciates me for who I am. There are no games, no hidden agendas. We communicate openly, respectfully. I've learned what a truly healthy relationship feels like, and it's nothing like what I had with Christina. The Impala is almost fully restored, a symbol of my own rebuilding. I'm happier than I've been in years.